G-Man Boxing. Do you know what I mean? Every single live he donates. I see him on other lives donating. He's got the bag on it.
Alright, people. So Deontay Wilder makes his return to the ring last night against Robert Helenius. Gets a first round. Devastating. Deontay Wilder, just in a nutshell, knockout with the right hand. And, you know, going into this fight, I was thinking, okay, if this was Wilder who had anything, even a fraction left, should be enough to beat Helenius and beat him early. But coming back after those two losses, especially the last one, the last fight, which happened about a year ago now, that was a tough fight. That was a tough fight for Deontay Wilder, getting knocked out like that. And I just wondered, what did he have left? But going into this fight, I was liking what I was seeing. He seemed to have a bit of... He just seemed to be rejuvenated. Certainly in the training footage and in the interview footage we've seen, he just seemed to have a new lease of life. He looked lighter, in camp. And obviously when he weighed in back in the 210s. I think it was 214, which I think is just the perfect weight for Deontay Wilder, In around the 210 to 220 mark is when we normally see Wilder at his very best. He's got more speed, more stamina. I just think he's just a much, much better fighter. And I think that if he'd weighed 214 in the trilogy fight against Tyson Fury, I don't think Fury was ever going to be denied in the rematch. But in the trilogy fight, I think Fury still would have won. But I definitely think that Wilder would have given him a lot more problems. Because one of the issues wasn't just the fact that Wilder was getting his head battered from pillar to post. It was the fact that he was pretty much blown after the first round because he was so heavy. So Wilder coming into this fight, all the signs were looking good. Now in the fight, there wasn't really much to talk about, really. Robert Helenius was trying to just get in on Deontay Wilder, trying to walk him down a bit. And Wilder was, using his jab. Was jabbing to Helenius' body, which I was liking to see. Wilder, he's not got the best jab in the heavyweight division, but I don't think it's a bad jab. When he uses it, it's quite good. And he's been using the jab as a rangefinder, looking to set the right hand up. And I did worry a bit going into this fight. Would Deontay Wilder be a little bit gun shy? Would it be a case of, okay, there's a huge gap in talent that we already knew kind of coming into this fight, but would Wilder be a little bit reluctant if he had the chance to throw that right hand? Would he miss the perfect moment, or would he be a little bit gun shy? None of that. Throwing the right hand from early on, and the ending came just typical Deontay Wilder. He didn't set it up with the jab as he's been doing lately. Robert Helenius kind of came in, Wilder had his back up against the ropes, landed the right hand, knocked Helenius out cold. What's more impressive and more scary as well, if you're a Deontay Wilder opponent, is that Wilder was kind of, Helenius coming in obviously would have given more impact to the shot, but Wilder was kind of backing up against the ropes. Not fully backed up, but there's no way he was able to get maximum extension into the shot. And he was able to knock Helenius out cold. The power that guy has in that right hand is scary. It really is. I mean, that wasn't set up with anything. He was kind of backed up a bit. He didn't get a chance to, if you look at the right hand he threw against Brazil, he was able to lean his whole body into that shot and bam. This wasn't like that, and he still was able to knock Helenius out cold and knock him out bad. Crazy. Absolutely crazy punching power in that right hand from Deontay Wilder. The one thing I found interesting, just because I've just seen Wilder for many, many years, this is the first time I've ever seen him in Grant gloves. Now, he's normally been a guy who's worn Everlast. He's worn Everlast, I think, pretty much his whole career. I think he was might have been sponsored by them at one stage, but he's always been an Everlast fighter. This is the first time I've ever seen him wear a pair of Grant gloves, which I found a bit, just from a boxing, just glove enthusiast, I just found weird. Grants are very dear. They've kind of fallen out of fashion over the last 6-7 years, pretty much since Floyd Mayweather retired. Now, I've never owned a pair of Grants, but I have worn a pair, and I have worn a real pair because there's a lot of fake ones out there, but no, I've worn a real one. And I was kind of like, for the price, they don't feel that good. They're just a bit, they're all right, but they're better than the average kind of knockoff glove. But Nothing special. Now, Wilder was wearing them. Now, Grant gloves are known for they're having quite a bit of padding, but it's quite dense foam. So it protects your hand, but also if you're hitting someone, they're going to feel it. But it's not like a Mexican Everlast, the MX, where it's primarily horsehair. Yeah, you're going to hurt your hand in them, but you're also going to hurt your opponent. These are kind of like a good balance in between. But Wilder used to use power locks, which are basically the Everlast version of Grant's. If anyone wants to know, they're basically what they are. Talk about gloves here. But yeah, I just found that interesting. Wonder why he's using Grant's now, where he'd been using Everlast for so long. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Savage knockout. Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz next. I'd like to see it. He mentioned Alexander Usyk as well. I think we're going to see Usyk fight Fury next. I think Fury is probably going to fight Chisora or someone like that in December, and we're going to have Undisputed next year. But you never know. If Usyk sticks around, say if Usyk beats Fury, although there is a rematch, isn't there? There would be a rematch, wouldn't there? Yeah, I can't see him fighting Usyk anytime soon. But Andy Ruiz, I would favour Deontay Wilder very heavily against Andy Ruiz personally, because I think that, Ruiz has fast hands. Ruiz, if he got close, he could maybe make it very uncomfy for Wilder. We don't know how Wilder would react to being, overwhelmed like that. But he's not got the best defense. He takes a pretty good shot, does Andy Ruiz, to be fair. But, there's having a good chin. And then there's Deontay Wilder, where you can have the best chin in the world. If you hit you with that right hand, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going down. I don't care how good your chin is. That right hand lands flush, you're going to have problems. It doesn't matter how good your chin is, you're going to have problems. And lastly, it's Ruiz's slow feet. I think that the lack of defense and the slow feet is just, against Deontay Wilder, you're going to have problems. Big problems. And I think that I'd be picking Wilder pretty heavily over Andy Ruiz, just based on that. So if we get that fight, well, Wilder could pretty much go next week, because he literally didn't take a single shot from Robert Helenius, knocked him out in a round. Wilder's good to go next week. So hopefully we could get that fight made maybe early 2023. I doubt we'll see it by the end of the year, not too soon, but because Ruiz only just fought last month, and I'd say he'll probably, knowing him, he's been fighting once every 16 months it seems. But hopefully we could get that fight across the line early next year. The only thing there is that probably Wilder will be mandatory for the WBC. I mean, heaven forbid we see Fury Wilder 4. I hope not. I hope we don't see that. I hope we see Undisputed, and then maybe Wilder could fight whoever for a vacant title. Or, I don't know, whatever happens. Maybe he'll fight the winner. See, I can't see the winner, or loser for that matter, of Fury versus Usyk sticking around. I really can't. So I can see a situation where a lot of belts get fragmented. Maybe we'll see him against Anthony Joshua. I know we can't gauge much from what Deontay Wilder did in this fight, but I've always felt that Wilder knocks Anthony Joshua out. Obviously with AJ, post Usyk, I don't know what way he is, but I was worried about Wilder because I didn't know how he'd be coming back. Would he still have anything left? Would he be gun shy? If they fought next year, I'm probably going to pick Deontay Wilder to knock Anthony Joshua out. I always felt that they'd fight. That's why I was always amazed they never got the fight over the line. Because I always felt that if they had fought in 2018, Wilder would have knocked Anthony Joshua out. It would have been a real kind of cagey affair, but I think that Joshua would have ended up walking into a right hand. I always felt that Wilder would have knocked Anthony Joshua out. And I still feel that now. But we'll need to see. I mean, hopefully we can see him against Ruiz. I don't really mind that fight too much. But let's see. Leave it with that, peeps. So obviously we'll do a review of the week later. Probably get it out tonight or tomorrow morning, one or the other. For now, I'll talk to you, peeps. Have a good weekend. Have a good Sunday. Peace.